Here's what a day at Disney cost me for a family of 5. Before we even got into the park, it cost me $30 just for parking. And even being a Florida resident, tickets for a family of 5 with one child under 10 was still $974. Paying for the Lightning Lane was $35 per person and only would have given us speed access to 3 rides, so we opted out of that. Right after our first ride, we bought 2 waters and 3 ice creams. This totaled $29.50. After the second ride, they wanted a pretzel and I wanted a beer. This was another $19. This guy right here wanted a lightsaber for $44.99, but I was a hard no. After that, it was time for lunch, so we went to the Brown Derby where we could sit down for a little bit and order a decent meal. They didn't like the options and the prices were outrageous, so we left and went somewhere else. We each ended up with a small pizza, each had a side and a small drink, totaling $44.35. After lunch, we took off and waited more lines, and we also met a few characters along the way. Once we got to Star Wars Land, we had to buy some blue milk for $10.29. It tasted like a slushie with nerds on top. We took a few minutes to meet Kylo Ren.
Your courage will be tested and rewarded.
The kids then snuck away and bought some Star Wars Coca-Cola. This was $6.50, but this guy said it was worth it. After the next ride, we went and had a churro, a water, and a margarita. It had been a long day at this point. That margarita was well needed. This was another $36. And just as I thought the day was finally over, the rest of the family decided they want to go to dinner at downtown Disney Springs. This place was my literal hell. It was shoulder to shoulder in every store and restaurant. We ended up at the Formata Cocina for some Mexican food. $30 for carnitas, $19 margarita, $8 corn, $30 carne asada, and then each of the kids with drinks and food were an additional $30 to $40 each, totaling $245.27 for dinner. There was some sticker shock here, and right after that, they all wanted to go shop. Luckily, it was getting late, and we decided to not go into any stores. The grand total for our day was $1,391.91.
Disney is not this magical place that you need to take your child. It's not this place that you dream of. And if there's one place that you can go, it has to be Disney. Disney fucking sucks, okay? Take it from somebody that has been there 3 times. Twice in Florida, once in California. They all suck. You are going to pay a year's salary to go down there with your children. You are going to pay to wait in line. That is all you do. You wait in line to ride. You wait in line to pee. You wait in line to get food. You wait. You pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to wait. The crowds are insane. The heat in Florida is insane. You will die from heat and sweating and exhaustion. It is terrible. It is no fun. I don't know why. It's so much fun. You wait in line all day long. You may ride 3, 4, 5 rides if you're lucky, and that's if you don't get Fast Pass. Now, if you get Fast Pass for this trip, you're going to be on your phone the entire time. Look at any of the Disney groups. The moms and all of the photos, when they do like the picture on the ride, they're all on their phones getting their Lightning Lane for the next ride, because that's all you can do is just focus on the ride and getting the lane and getting the time, and it's stupid. And then if you want to pay even more money, then you don't have to wait in line, but you're paying like $500 extra per person to not wait in line. You pay to park. You got to walk all the way to it is a waste of money. You can do so much more and make so much better memories going literally anywhere else. The beach, the pier in Santa Monica, Kennywood, any amusement park that is not Disney, because it is so overcrowded, so overpopulated, and it is not even worth it. The rides are anything that you would ride at any place ever. There's a couple cool things here and there, but other than that, it's not worth it. I spent less, okay? I spent less money taking my entire family plus my mother and mother-in-law, 7 people. I stayed for 1 week at a luxury resort, fancy bougie-ass luxury resort in the Bahamas. They had a waterfall. You swam in an underground cave where you could watch turtles and fish swim right next to you. I spent less staying at a luxury resort in the Bahamas for an entire week for 7 people. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Let me de-influence you. If you want to make this magical dream trip for your children, go literally anywhere else. I promise they will love it just as much, if not better.
This is part 3 of how we got into massive debt, and this is one of my most embarrassing debts that we have. A few years ago, our family took a trip to Disney, and we impulsively purchased the Disney Vacation Club. And we did so by financing it. If you don't know what the Disney Vacation Club, or DVC, is, it's kind of like a timeshare for Disney World. Except instead of having one specific resort or specific weeks of the year that you get to use it, it's a point system. You buy a certain number of points points, and then those points can get redeemed at any DVC resort any time of the year that they have availability. That means you can end up staying at Disney World properties, Disneyland properties, and they also have other DVC resorts like in Hawaii and in Europe. So it definitely provides like a lot of opportunity to travel. Now, with that being said, this is a very bougie luxury purchase that we had no business making. There were some incentives when we purchased, so the total cost of financing was around $27,000. Now, was this stupid? Yes, I know that. But I promise you, our hearts were in a good place, but like our financial literacy was zero. When we took this trip and made this purchase, we were a foster family. We were supposed to go on this trip with 3 kids, but then at the last second, we got placed with 2 extra kids, and we wound up rearranging everything so that way we could take those 2 kids to Disney with us. So we were traveling as a family of 7. They got placed with us only 2 weeks before the trip, so I was just coming off of like rearranging everything. We were supposed to stay at a moderate resort in a normal hotel room. We ended up switching to the cabins because the cost of trying to rent 2 hotel rooms right next to each other was super expensive, and then any sort of like suite at the luxury resorts was insanely expensive. So the cabin was the only thing that was like somewhat affordable and could fit a family of 7. So obviously I'm just coming off the adrenaline of all that rearranging of the plans, and then one super hot sunny day while we were there, we ended up at one of the DVC informational like booths where they have fans and water, and they're like trying to draw you in, obviously. And we had just gone under there to get out of the sun for a few minutes. Of course, the representative starts talking to us about all the details and everything. And my husband and I are just so gullible, and we very quickly got suckered in. We went on a tour and saw the different DVC resorts and how beautiful they are. But more than just how beautiful they are, it makes access to like the suites that can fit large families a lot easier in comparison to just getting 2 rooms or getting a suite like at market value. So obviously we didn't have the money to pay for something like this in full. We never should have financed it. But our thinking at the time was, if we're going to keep being foster parents and we're always going to have lots of kids in our family, which when we were foster parents, we averaged having 5 kids at a time. So if we knew we were going to continue to be a large family, we wanted to know that we would still be able to travel and be able to take the kids with us. There are respite services, so that way foster kids don't have to travel with you, but that's just not what we want to do. If they're living with us and we're going on vacation, they're coming with us. I also should add that we didn't have anywhere near as much consumer debt at the time compared to what we have now. We just foolishly thought that this would be a good investment and give us an opportunity to travel with a lot of kids. Am I proud of this purchase? No. Was it necessary? No. So we have looked into selling it, but we're currently upside down in our loan. If we were to try to sell it right now, we would actually have to pay $10,000 to have the loan fully paid off and be able to like release the title of it. Come back for part 4, where I'm going to explain why we thought it was a good idea to install an in-ground pool. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day. Love you. Bye.
Disney prices are completely out of control. I live a mile and a half from Disneyland in Anaheim, California. And I've lived in this place for about the last 3 years. And so I saw an ad the other day that said ticket priced reduced to $150 per person. And I was like, reduced? They cost $150 per person now? So I went and looked it up to share this information with you guys because I can't quite believe it. So typical family in America is 4 people, 2 adults, 2 children. So let's look at the prices for a typical family of 4 to go to Disney for 1 day. This does not even include flights if you're not in the area, or gas if you need to drive here. So tickets are $179 each for 2 adults. That's $358. $169 each for 2 children. So $338, totaling $696. Are you kidding me? Holy cow. Okay, now let's get to food and drinks. These are going to be some estimates. So about $60 to $90 per person times 4 people. And that's $240 to $360 for the 4 of you for the day. Now, when we talk about the park tickets, understand that they have what's called date-based or peak day pricing, meaning that if it's an off-peak day, it'll be cheaper. If it's a peak day, it'll be more, so it can go up and down. Food and drinks, that includes like quick service meals, snacks, drinks. Sit-down dining is going to push that up higher, okay? Now, parking is always $35. If you try to Uber in, it's probably going to cost at least that anyway, so kind of a wash there. You're going to have to pay for parking. Souvenirs, also $100 to $200, because you know you can't take your kid to Disney without them at least getting a t-shirt or a plushie or whatever they call it now. Depends on how much you want to spend there. Now, hotel, if you're going to stay for the night, is going to be between $150 and $300, and that's only skippable if you happen to live within a couple hours of Disney, which most people don't. So base, we're talking about $1,200 average, anywhere from $1,100 to $1,600 if you have a hotel for 1 day for a family at Disney. $1,200 average. Does that seem insane to anybody else that it should cost that much to go to Disney for 1 day? Does this seem absolutely insane to anybody else when they hear these prices? Because to me, this is nuts. Maybe it should cost $100 each for parents to get into the park, $50 each for kids. They're gonna make money on you on snacks, on toys, on games, on everything else anyway. Does it have to be this expensive, or am I just completely out of touch with how much things should cost? Because I wouldn't take my family here for these prices, and I live in 1.5 miles away. I'm not paying this. Would you?
Disneyland is always full when you go because everyone there is in credit card debt. We've had people on the show endlessly go into debt to go to Disney. I've been to Disney once, the Orlando Disney, the better Disney, and I loved it. It was fun. Am I going into endless debt for it? I don't think so. But that is why Disney is always absolutely loaded up.
Disneyland for me and Disneyland for my wife are two separate things. My wife grew up rich, I grew up poor. Let me explain the difference to y'all. I've only ever been to Disneyland in California. My wife wants to take me to Disney World in Florida. It's March. They want to go for Christmas. Who has this type of financial faith? Now, I can't tell if these expenses are normal for people or if her family is just rich, but let me run down the expenses for y'all. Her mom says, be ready for about 10 grand for the hotel. We're still looking for something a little cheaper. A little cheaper? Who the fuck we staying with? It's because my mom likes to stay at a Disneyland resort. We can stay at a Motel 6 and live our best life. Her mom then says, I really didn't like the BMW. I really want the Range Rover this time. It's only $1,092, so we could definitely get that for like a week. Ooh, mija, the tickets for a family of 4 is only $1,584. Why are you using words like only when that should be the price of rent? We haven't even looked at plane tickets yet because she wants to buy them a little closer out. So far, just for tickets, hotel, and the rental car, we are at almost $13,000. I've been to Disneyland. Now, I don't know the difference between Disneyland and Disney World, but I can tell you there's not enough shit worth 13,000 fucking...
Disney does not want poor people at their parks. It's official. I thought this before, but now this was the nail in the coffin from this morning's announcement. And don't get me wrong, I sell Disney. I love Disney. I go to Disney. But their rollouts lately have been making me a little sad. Disney announced this morning that they are rolling out Premier Pass and they're testing it with a deluxe guest starting on October 30th, in case you missed it. Premier Pass is going to get you basically any ride you want to ride once. Prices start at $150 per person, goes up to $400 per person. This means on the lower end, if you are visiting a park and let's say average ticket $150 per person, and you add in the lowest Premier Pass, $150 per person, the Premier Pass is priced obviously by day and by park, but the lowest one I saw was $150 for a family of 4. That's $1,200 for the day. I also saw in some of my DAS groups that I'm a part of, the disability groups, that Disney has officially cleared out DAS to make way for this Premier Pass. And I can't help but wonder, is it true?
For many Americans, the happiest place on Earth now feels like the most expensive place on the planet. As demand soared post-pandemic, Disney has been hiking prices and introducing more expensive add-ons. A one-day adult pass to Disneyland now costs $206 on the busiest days of the year, and a new premium version of the Lightning Lane Pass costs $449 a day. Now, some people inside the company are worried that a Disney vacation has slipped out of reach for many middle-class Americans. A typical 4-day Disney World vacation for a family of 4 costs about $4,266 in 2024. That's according to Touring Plans, a data provider that helps vacationers plan theme park visits. Disney says it offers a range of price options and that a trip in the fall could start at $3,026 for a family of 4. And according to surveys conducted by the company, most respondents say that Disney World offers good or great value for the price. Price increases helped Disney's Parks and Cruises division become its biggest moneymaker. But attendance growth at the parks is starting to slow down, and the number of visitors planning return trips has dropped.
I'm about to ask these guys right here with the stroller. I got a YouTube channel, and I'm just asking people what they paid for their Disney vacation.
Oh, wow.
Just to help, like, people out that never been here.
How much we paid?
Yeah.
So $2,000 in the hotel.
For like the whole trip?
Where are you staying at?
And
The Contemporary.
The Contemporary, so $2,000 for 2 days.
2 days.
And food, wow. We're at $1,000. It's been 1 day, not $1,000, 2 days, $1,000, right?
Yeah.
We did character dining. Yes, it was $340.
Wow.
At the snow.
The camera's right there, by the way.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't know where to put it because I put it on a trash can. Someone's gonna knock it over.
Yeah, we went to the Fort Wilderness and did the story time. And yeah, $70 a head. So
What do you think the total of your whole vacation would be?
at the end,
Yeah.
today we have character dining. Tomorrow we have character dining. It's gonna be about 4,000 for 2 days.
Is it just you two and?
No, her husband, my other granddaughter, my other grandkids. I'm missing one. Yeah, it gets expensive.
For 6 people.
In a nice hotel and we do a character dining. We don't have to do that. We can go cheap. We just don't want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys' time. My TikTok and YouTube is DJ from Orlando.
EJ from Orlando?
DJ from Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah. Very simple.
Down so I can look at the video.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to meet you guys.
You too, likewise.
I'm sorry.
Are you on vacation here?
Yes.
I got a YouTube and a TikTok, and I'm just asking like Disney adults how much they paid for their Disney vacation.
Oh no. Am I going to be like on camera, or you're just like taking data?
It's up to you.
No, I don't want my face on there.
Okay.
About $35,000.
35,000. Wow. I bet. Well, never mind. This camera tracks people, so they're walking by. It starts tracking.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want my face on.
Yeah,
there.
that's fine. I won't put it on there. I promise.
Yes.
35,000. Where are you staying at? If you don't mind me asking.
We're staying at the Disney Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, okay. How many days is that?
We got here on Friday.
Friday.
So, we're here till next weekend. So,
Okay.
about a week and a half.
Okay, thank you. My TikTok and YouTube DJ from Orlando. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
She paid $35,000 for a week. That's insane, guys. She didn't want to be on camera, so I ain't gonna put her on there, but wow. Insane. That's a car.
Almost half the people at Disney are going into debt.
45% of parents with children under the age of 18 have gone into some kind of debt going to Disney World. But you know what the even more shocking part is? Most of them say the biggest budget breaker is food and drinks. You know, Disney's really good at penny pinching if you come unprepared.
That's what I was just thinking, if you're unprepared.
60% of the people that do go into debt for it don't regret it at all.
Hashtag worth it.
They see it as the cost of entry to experience something priceless, if that makes sense.
I'm not judging at all.
Of course not.
Yeah,
right?
I get it. I understand it completely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we've never used a credit card or something.
Points.
Oh, yeah, points.
Guess what generation is in the most debt going to Disney? It's between Gen Z and millennials.
It's millennials, isn't it?
No, it's Gen Z.
Younger?
Yeah. Reason why that would make more sense to me, most of Gen Z probably aren't established in their careers yet. And so they still want to go to Disney because most people see going to Disney as like a rite of passage, right?
I think I get it. It's just hard for me to, we waited for so long I know you went to Disney when you were a kid once.
Yeah.
But I didn't go until way older.
Yeah. What percent of people that go to Disney return?
75.
You're very close.
73.
It's 70%.
Okay, that's 70%. A lot. Yeah.
That is a lot. They know how to cater to the people.
I watched a documentary where Walt Disney said specifically he wanted his park to be for parents and kids, not just for kids.
Yeah.
And that stayed true. They do a good job of, there's something for everybody.
They reeled us in.
It's whatever the air they're pumping into the parks.
Yeah.
It's got something in it.
That crack air.
Yeah. We don't say crack air. The crack air.
Yeah, the crack air.
Good morning, or maybe not such a good morning, as Disneyland is increasing its prices again. Before I tell you about the price increase, I just want to address a couple of things that Disney said. First of all, they said that they have to increase because they're not making as much money. First of all, I think Disney is making plenty of money. And second of all, I think that part of why they're not making as much money is because it is so expensive to get into the park. By the time people have gotten into the parks, they don't want to buy a bunch of merchandise and food because they spent so much money to get into the parks. So maybe just think about that a little bit, Disney. Now let's talk about the prices. First of all, the price of Magic Keys did go up. So the Inspire Key, the top tier key, is now $17.49 a year instead of $16.49 a year. The Believe Key went up to $13.74. The Enchant Key went up, I think, the biggest amount, and I think that's because it's one of the most popular passes. It's actually the pass that my husband and kids have. It was $8.49, now it is $9.74. And the Imagine Key also went up $100. It was $4.99, now it's $5.99, so all the passes went up between $100 and $125. Disney also raised the price of single-day tickets. If you just want to go to one park during peak season, it can cost you up to $206, plus an additional $65 if you want a park hop. So $271 for a one-day park hop ticket at Disneyland. And lastly, they also raised the price of multi-pass, also sometimes called Lightning Lane, or it used to be called Lightning Lane. And now that's between $30 and $32 a day. If you actually want to go on rides, you basically need that now. And Magic Key holders can save 20% off on that on any day. And in January, I guess Disney's going to give us 50% off of that in basically the least busy month of the year. So cool. And yes, we did just renew our Magic Keys. We have them for another year. I assume we'll also renew them next year. And I understand how much of a privilege that is, but I do think it's a bummer how many people are getting priced out and how many can't afford it, because Disney needs to make just so much money, and the family park aspect is getting too expensive for most families.
Disney just announced record-setting streaming profits and record-breaking revenue from its experiences division. A key reason why? They keep raising prices. The media giant brought in $26 billion in revenue in its first quarter earnings of fiscal year 2026. Disney raised prices for both its streaming service and its theme parks last October. The company says higher park prices reflect inflation, higher labor costs, and continued investments in new rides and experiences. But Disney also changed how it prices a visit to its parks back in 2016. The company introduced dynamic pricing, meaning ticket prices vary depending on demand and how crowded the parks are expected to be. And it's not just tickets. Prices inside the parks have climbed too. In its earnings report, Disney reported that per guest spending rose by 4%. One reason is that food and merchandise is more expensive than ever. In December of 2025, I went to Disneyland to price check some of Disney's most popular food and merch myself. A Mickey ice cream bar that would have costed me $2.75 in 2009 had more than doubled in price to $6.50. Mickey ears that once cost $12 now sell for $36.99. And a Dole Whip that was $2.89 in 2009 now costs $7.29. A once free service, FastPass, which let visitors skip long lines, has been replaced with a tiered paid system that can cost up to $449 depending on the park and time of year. And from 2015 to 2025, Disney World's top-tier annual pass nearly doubled from $829 to $1,629, a 44% increase after inflation. Price increases like these may seem insignificant on their own, but Disney's bottom line is increasingly dependent on them. Disney's Experiences division, which includes its theme parks, resorts, and cruises, crossed $10 billion in quarterly revenue for the first time. Meanwhile, its film and television businesses weighed on overall earnings despite gains in streaming, which the company said rose 72% to $450 million. And with prices at the parks still rising, a lot of fans are now asking,
well, what's my breaking point? When will I say, oh, this is too much for an annual pass?
To learn more about what's driving up the cost of visiting the happiest place on earth, watch the full episode of So Expensive on Business Insider's YouTube channel.
Is the price for Disneyland in 2025 still worth it? We went with our family of 5, and this is the price breakdown for our 15-hour day in Disneyland.
Starting off with the most expensive, the ticket prices. We bought a one-day park hopper ticket at Tier 5 pricing, which cost $271 each ticket for a total of $1,355 for 5 tickets. We saved on parking because me and Jay are pass holders, but if we didn't have a pass, it would be $35 per vehicle. We ended up going on a busy Saturday, so we purchased the Lightning Lane multi-pass. It was $32 per ticket and a total of $207 for 7 tickets. We did end up purchasing food there, but not as much since we brought our own drinks and snacks, so the total for the food was $236 with 54 cents. And the complete total for our 15-hour day at Disneyland in 2025 was $1,798 with 54 cents.
Here's how much we spent on our entire trip to Disneyland as a family of 5. This trip was a splurge, but we also budgeted for it. Hey, I'm Marissa and I share about family budgeting and money transparency, so of course I'm going to share how much we spent while on our Disneyland trip. The first cost of the trip were park tickets. This cost $1,103.90 for tickets for myself, my husband, and our 4-year-old son. My other kids are 2 and 8 months, so they were free. We did a 2-day pass with 1 park per day and Lightning Lane added on with the ticket, and buying these at Target with your Target card can save you 5%. We drove from Phoenix and spent $86.32 on gas for the round trip. The real splurge was our hotel stay. We stayed at the Pixar Place Hotel, and it was so dreamy to be able to stay on property at a Disneyland hotel. We have never stayed on property before, so this was extra special. We all shared 1 hotel room for 3 nights, and it cost $1,476.66. You also had to pay to park here, and that was $120 for our stay. We did 1 special dining experience, which was also a splurge. We ate at the Blue Bayou restaurant, which is the restaurant inside Pirates of the Caribbean, and that was $149.75. Then we did a character breakfast on the day of checkout, and that was $162. All the other food we ate on this trip came to a grand total of $169.07. We did a lot of quick service meals, shared a lot of things, and brought our own snacks. I'm also kind of shocked at how much we spent on merchandise. We spent $253.18. As a grand total, this trip cost $3,520.88. We've been budgeting and saving every month for the last several months so that we could splurge on this Disneyland vacation, especially that hotel stay. It was truly magical and a trip that I know we're going to remember. I'm all about budgeting so that you can do things you enjoy, and if that sounds like something you want to do, follow along for more family finance tips.
In a 2025 Wall Street Journal survey, 74% of people said experiences like cruises, amusement parks, and trips to Disney resorts had become financially out of reach.
It's expensive to operate Disney, and so I do understand some of the price increases, but I do think they are starting to price out your average middle class family into like that once in a lifetime trip.
Over the past decade, Disney has also layered new premium experiences on top of its core offerings. Take FastPass, for example. Until 2021, this service allowed park visitors to skip long lines for free. Today, its successor, the Lightning Lane Premier Pass, is a tiered and pricey add-on, costing up to $449 depending on the park and time of year. There are other services Disney once offered for free that no longer exist, like Magical Express, a complimentary shuttle that transported travelers between Orlando International Airport and resort hotels. After Disney discontinued the shuttle in 2022, it gave guests the option to choose between services like Mears Connect, about $32 round trip for adults, or its more premium minivan service, which can cost roughly $400 round trip for adults. There are also luxury lodging options.
They know that the money is in the upper level, the top 10%, the top 1%. They've created a wide variety of new products to try and, frankly, extract more money out of the people who have money to spare. Now, the downside with that is if you're one of those remaining middle-class people in America, you could get squeezed here.
$9,000 VIP tour at Disney World. Yes, you heard that right, $9,000. This is what you will get with the VIP tour and roughly what it will cost you. So the tours range from $450 to $900 per hour. They do accommodate up to 10 guests. It does not include your park tickets, but you can go to any park and use park hoppers. You do get the Lightning Lane for every attraction and every experience. If there is a back door or an exit on any attraction, they do walk you through there instead of waiting in the Lightning Lane lines, and you get straight onto a ride. We were lucky enough that even during spring break, we had virtually no wait, even in Lightning Lanes, for everything that we did. I've been to Magic Kingdom twice before, and I truly spent the full entire day, 12 to 14 hours in this park trying to get everything done and still felt like I didn't. The VIP tour, we did everything within about 6 hours. It absolutely saves so much time because they take you through the park very efficiently. They scan their badge to get you into every single line instead of you scanning your phone or scanning your magic bands. Saved so much time. Also, absolutely nothing we did for this trip was planned in advance. Like most people spend months and months planning, you do zero planning. You do not have to reserve any specific time slots for the attractions, and we also did not have to pre-book a dinner reservation. They do give you a free drink and a free snack throughout your day, and we also utilized our last few hours just doing repeats of our favorite things. The only two things you cannot do more than once in Magic Kingdom are Tron and Tiana's Bayou. For the fireworks show, there also is a VIP section that is fenced in, and you get to sit on the green grass and just hang out and watch without the crowd. out. Comment below if you think that this is worth it or if you've done it, what you spent on your trip.
We stayed here for a little over a week and it was about 30 grand.
Did you use any debt to pay for that trip?
No, we had savings that we had.
Which resort?
All sport. All inclusive was the way to go for us. I took 5 grandchildren and all their parents.
How do you get to a point to afford a vacation like that without going into debt?
Well, that was our long-term goal for retirement. Take all the kids.
Do you have any debt?
I have 0 debt. I'm sitting pretty well.
Pay off a house?
I own about 3 homes and no mortgages on anything.
How early did you start investing?
I started young and I started with real estate.
What would your advice be to prepare for retirement?
It's great to take a vacation, but you have to have long-term savings, or when you get into the retirement age, you'll find out you didn't have enough.
Well, you're a guy that would splurge on a vacation and a family trip. Where do you choose to save money?
I was, when I was younger, a car guy. I had to have all the best, but now that I'm older, a car is a car. There's no need to spend 80 grand on an automobile.
Do you think Disney's worth it?
You could do it without going overboard.
Disney says it's raising the price of admissions for its theme parks effective immediately. Tickets for Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, and Disneyland in Anaheim, California will now be more expensive on certain days. Here's how it's going to work. On popular days like New Year's Eve, a single day ticket will cost roughly $199. But on extra popular days, like for example during the week of Thanksgiving, tickets will go from $199 to $224. At Disneyland, 5 of the 7 ticket tiers will increase by 3%. 2 of those tiers are yearly passes, which get holders reservation-based admission to the theme parks most days of the year, as well as discounts at the parks. Now, those perks cost a very pretty penny. The Inspire Key Pass now costs $1,899. That is an increase of $150. And the Magic Key Pass now costs $1,474. That's an increase of $100. Now, according to Disney's website, you can still get a one-day pass for as low as $104. Again, that price will not be available on very busy days at the park when you will now have to pay a whole lot more. So what do you think? Still worth it? Let me know.